Hi, and thank you for joining. We are here to discuss workers' compensation audits. To give a quick overview on us, we are Ernst Consulting Group out of the Chicago area, and we have a team of expense recovery experts that include IP and tax attorneys, CPAs, engineers, and audit specialists. Other studies, in addition to workers' comp, we have engineering-based R&D tax credit, engineering-based cost segregation studies, parcel audits, that being UPS and FedEx, as well as cell phone audit. A little bit about us. We are a team of independent brokers in which we were founded in 1990. We don't sell insurance. We are not affiliated with any insurance companies. We simply do a comprehensive or forensic audit of your workers' comp program. We've performed over 1,000 studies now. And the good news is that we find that about 70% of you are overpaying, which is good news for everybody, because what that means is we're able to generate a refund for 70% of you. That totals approximately 10 to 15% of what your annual premiums are. These are just approximations. The win-win value proposition here is that unless we recover expenses, there are no costs or fees to you. So in other words, if we were to initiate a study today, you pay us no retainers to generate the study, and even if a study takes 90 to 120 days and we find everything is in compliance, there are still no costs or fees to you, so therefore it's a very good win-win value proposition. Real high-level workers' comp basics. This could be workers' comp 101. But workers' comp is regulated by each state, where the rules vary significantly by each state. There are no limits to the medical claims. Lost time payments are normally a payment equal to 2/3 of an employee's wage. An employee becomes eligible for indemnity after 3 days loss of work. Many of you may or may not realize, but workers' comp is very complex, and in many cases more complex than you may even realize. The reason so, or one of the reasons, is that there are over 700 classifications in many states. And each state will have a different interpretation of these classifications. So if you think about it, how does your underwriter or auditor manage this if they have multiple states, multiple clients, and then all of these classifications with various interpretations? It gets very, very complex. And this is just one example, by the way. And the most common mistake we find is incorrect classification codes. So what we do, we're able to go back roughly 5 to 7 years with a couple of variables, and we're able to identify from a very high level a few different things. One is overcharges in classifications, overcharges in experience rating calculations, and overcharges in premium audit calculations. We're also able to look at the current and expired workers' comp policies, looking at technical mistakes and rule violations. A couple of questions that you may have that are most common is that my agent already does this. Actually, they don't, because if you look at the example earlier where we're talking about the 700 classifications, it's basically impossible for them to really and thoroughly understand your workers' comp policy. Even if they've done annual audits, all they do is really look at the actual payrolls. They don't look for overcharges. The most common question we have is, what will my insurance company think? After 1,000 studies, they know we're out there, and they're used to external audits, but keep in mind that they need to, by law, remain in compliant with all the rules and regulations. By the way, a client has never been dropped because we've done an external audit. Speaking of clients, we've done many Fortune 500 clients as well as much smaller organizations. There is no primary vertical. The key thing to remember is that we start a study roughly around $40,000 in what you're paying in annual premiums. So if you're paying $37,000 in workers' comp, we'll still initiate the study. But just to put a stake in the ground, we'll just say that if you're paying $40,000 in workers' compensation, that's when we'll initiate the study. And there's no vertical, but we've done construction companies, roofing companies, chimney sweeps, manufacturing, healthcare, thing about $40,000 or more on what you're paying. An interesting case study. We've recently finished a study in Milwaukee, and this guy said that he knows workers' comp very well, and they just did an internal audit, so we're not going to find anything. but he wanted us to do the study anyway, just to make sure that his insurance provider is compliant. After about probably 90 to 120 days, we were able to generate a refund of $9,100. He was very excited and a bit perplexed, but he didn't understand workers' comp as he thought I did, because there was many miscalculations in some of the premium overcharges. Here's some contact information which you can reach me. Again, my name is Jeff, and it might be best to call my cell at 815-354-6105. Thank you.